All right. Test, test,
Test.
test, test.
News article out there that adults just want to have fun, guys. So why people are seeking refuge in toys and experiences again. So the gist of the article is there's that just more or less being an adult is difficult. As we know, it's stressful, and there's more adults that are seeking uh, play, basically. Whatever that is, play and fun activities. So it mentions like pickleball has been on the rise, for example, and people just doing things that are just fun, trying to take a break from stress and everything, that it's healthy and all of that. So that's going to bring us into our, just to ask an idiot question of the week here, guys. So just the notion of play. Do you take time to play, to basically to enjoy some activity or just other fun activities, whether you don't have to necessarily, it may not be even something of a physical activity, but and if so, what do you do as your form of play? Obviously it could be different activities or what have you, and do you think it's important? So Nick, why don't we start with you? Is play important? And a play is not just watching TV and Nick, shit like that. I don't mean that. I just, some type of activity. What do you do?
Well, I could see why you'd start with me as the guy with a million fucking toys behind my backdrop.
Oh, and it blacks out because he's like, I don't want to show this shit.
Okay, obviously. No, I know there are adult Lego builders, there are adult people that play with toys and do different, I don't play with toys anymore. I don't do other than with my children and stuff like that. It is definitely important, I think, to find something that brings you joy.
Pay no attention to everything behind him.
As you will notice, and my children do not understand this, but I have explained to them they don't understand why Dad's toys stay in the box and on the wall. And I explain to them, and this actually
Mom stays in the drawer.
Mom takes hers out of the box every now and again. How come you never take yours out of the box? No, I explained to them, my actual answer to them is, because I'm an adult and I have so many things, I don't have time to play with my toys. So I enjoy them more by hanging them on the wall and looking at them, which is true. And I can't see myself actually taking a toy out of a package and playing with action figures like I do when I'm, playing with my kids. But definitely, my thing is hockey. I've been playing since I was a kid, and it is, I would say, outside of my family, it is the single most important thing in my life. It gives me everything I need. It gives me time with my friends. It gives me athletic activity. It gives me, alone time in the car.
We don't play hockey with you.
But it's a good time. It's camaraderie, and it's showering with other men. All the things that I enjoy doing is right there in playing hockey. But no, it's important to me to have that hobby, and it does connect me. I feel like a kid when I'm out there. I don't think about my age or if I'm going to hurt in the morning or whatever from doing stuff. When I'm in the game, I'm just thinking about the game, and I feel like I did when I was a kid when I'm gliding around on the ice and I'm having fun with my buddies on the bench. Like it takes me back to that same thing. That's part of the reason why I love it so much. But I think it's important. Definitely, I know people, older people, whether they play pickleball or tennis or something like that. It's really cool, and I like that people have those communities and they get out there and they stay active. I think that's an important part of it too. But really, it doesn't even have to be an activity or a physical thing. I mean, anything that brings you joy or camaraderie. Forget camaraderie, even if it's not with other people. If it's something that brings you joy, if you like gaming or you like whatever, I think it is important. And I think that's something that in generations past, people would kind of scoff at and go, "Oh, it's childish." Like, "Puh, when you're an adult, you do this and you do that, and it's constant work." But we understand now that there's so much with mental health and taking care of your emotions and yourself and making sure that you're making yourself happy, because you only got one of these lives to live, and so you might as well enjoy it while you're here. So, without neglecting responsibilities or regular life that you have to go on with, I think it's important to find something that sparks joy in you and that you enjoy to do, whatever that may be. So, but you know, there's different ranges. Like I said, there's people that like play with toys and do, whatever, and that's a little odd to me, but that's not my thing. So if that brings someone joy and makes them feel good, and then so be it. So, Brian, you're a collector of toys and things, and you, even comic books. You still read comics to this day. I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about what kind of stuff like that do you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it is important. Obviously everything's a balance. You can't work all the time. You can't play all the time. It's got to be a balance there, certainly. But yeah, you're right. I mean, comics is something I've dabbled in off and on for years, and I've recently gotten a little bit more into it. I've realized that it's just no way I can collect any single title month over month. It's too expensive. There's not enough time for that. I tend to find a storyline that sounds interesting.
Yeah, there's so many too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick up those few issues, and I've enjoyed that. Again, being reintroduced to that. As you guys know, I took up disc golf, and for me, that's become a kind of a passion play activity where I can go out by myself. I would, look to get into that with some other folks as well. But it's just a time to be outside, get a little exercise, and you're challenging yourself against it's a simple game, keep score. It just takes your mind for an hour and a half, your mind is completely off everything except doing that particular activity. And I think that's part of the point of the whole thing. And just you're setting a little bit of time aside to just focus on something enjoyable and put your worries and troubles aside just for a little while. So yeah, it's good. Definitely important. This here is a form of play, if you will. I mean, this is a activity. I enjoy connecting with you guys. We talked about why we do this for several reasons, and
I play with myself while we do this all the time.
Perfect. That's great. Perfect. That's as to be expected.
Winnie the Pooh over there, sport jacket, no pants.
Oh yeah,
that's right. That's right.
I'm fancy Pooh.
Yep. All our listeners in Sweden, I hear, do the same thing, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Love to hear that. No, but just again, it's a nice distraction and break from other stresses and worries just for a little while. We're doing something fun, and that's what it's all about. So, Dean, what is your view, or what are your views on play, and what type of activities do you do that might be considered play?
Dean doesn't even like foreplay. He doesn't do play.
Megan's in the background, boy. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Okay. I'm going to go two ways about this. One, if you take us back to the Puritans, who
Jesus.
listen. No, listen.
Way back. Okay.
Hold on.
What? Huh? Go ahead.
First, God created the earth. There was the Big Bang.
No, the Puritans in the United States came over here because like the strict Catholic Church was too lenient, so they came over here to like really hone down and like just be fucking dicks, right? Mm-hmm. Ever since then, the progression has gone on up until now. Play has been incorporated little by little in different variations, whether playing softball with your friends or golf. Golf is not, golf has always been a buddy sport. Yes, they do it for competition on TV, but it's always been something you go out with your friends. It's always been play. So, the evolution of humanity, or the United States, however you want to put it, could be humanity, but has always just led to play, right? And there was a brief period of time, like for example, the Great Depression, up until like 1939, it was hard times. People didn't play. Fuck, kids didn't even play. But after that, after World War II happens, in 45, we get back and I think it becomes important for adults to play just the same as kids. And like Nick said, just different ways than kids. In their own different variations. It's always been important. I don't think this is what I'm getting at ultimately is it's not a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
That might be more specific to like toy collecting and that. Like,
Correct.
I know that's us.
Correct.
Like,
But it's just a
the
different
way we're doing
variation.
it. Right. Yeah.
Right. It's just a different variation. But FDR collected stamps, and to him, that's play. Like that
Sure.
was an enjoyable activity that he did that took his mind off the world's literally the world's problems. He collected stamps and he did cocaine, prescribed.
That's a form of nose play. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. But adults has always done play, just different forms. And like today's play, right? And this gets me to number 2. Brian helped me as an adult. I don't know if I've told this story
I would disagree
here.
with that.
No, Brian. Let me tell you. When I worked with Brian,
You're not close enough to that, I don't think.
When Brian and I first actually started hanging out, it was at a work function at a bar. I happened to just sit next to him, and we generally making just general chit chat, and we started talking about comic books. And at the time, I hid my fandom and nerddom from everybody, Star Wars and comic books and all of that I hid, right? I was closeted into my nerddom. And I'm talking to Brian and he's like, oh, just open and oh, I like this and I like this. And I'm like, yeah, I like that too. And and that's where we, start up the conversation. And it honestly made me go, shit, I don't have to
I can
be
wear this like a
quiet about
badge
this.
of honor.
Yes,
I can. Yeah,
honestly,
right.
yes. Brian honestly helped me to become the nerd that I am, and I can't thank him ever enough. And
Sorry,
for the hand
buddy.
jobs. No, yeah. Brian's the reason I'm here.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
take that
exactly.
for what you will.
Emails, letters, postcards,
Yeah.
hate mail, all send to him.
Yeah.
It's his fault. But yeah, so yeah. As an adult today, I have embraced, in as you can see in my background, before that, all right, Homer I've had for a very long time, but everything else I would never have had out in display, in pride with it, if it wasn't for Brian. So,
Well,
There you
thank
go.
you. I'm glad to hear that.
There you go.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff.
Nick makes me come out in different things.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Team with Convincing Idiots, Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.
Four, three.
This week on episode number 177 of the Convincing Idiots podcast, gentlemen, we honor 2 great. I fucked up. All right, one more time.
We don't
Sorry.
have time for this.
I know.
Our batteries are dying.
I know. Yeah.
And thinking about it, you were so close. Give us a this week. Give us some pops.
Yeah.
Sure.
There is no tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.